Last year, my family and I built this beautiful cedar gazebo from Backyard Discovery. It was one heck of a project and it really turned out great. Since that time, we've hosted some graduation parties, a birthday party, and we've just had a lot of fun enjoying the outdoors with this gazebo. Plus, it made a huge impression on our property when you pull up and you see this big, beautiful cedar gazebo. And for that reason, we wanted to expand it a little bit because we love grilling out and we love hosting parties. So we picked up the Granada Grill Gazebo from Backyard Discovery, and it's a smaller version of this gazebo dedicated for a grill with bars on both sides. Looks like it's going to be amazing. We're going to put it together quickly in today's video, and at the end of the video we're going to show you the final product. We're going to give you some tips and tricks along the way, so let's jump in. When undertaking a big project like this, the best thing to do is get organized early. We're using this picnic table so we can set out all 3 boxes, and the smell of the cedar was amazing too, by the way. The nice thing with this kit is everything is labeled, so all of the parts and pieces are labeled and all of the hardware is labeled. We also use this extra table off to the side because there are a lot of pieces. It looks overwhelming, but many of these pieces are for the roofing, so it's not as bad as you might think. Everything is labeled. You can see that says D4. They're very clearly labeled, so it's going to be easy to assemble. These ones over here are some D3s, and then when Jen's laying them out, she just lays them all out together, all the D4s, all the D3s together, and so on. There's also a lot of hardware for a project like this, so we have a separate table where we're laying out all of the hardware bags, and each of those are also separately labeled. Both of our Backyard Discovery projects came with excellent paper instructions, but the real game changer is this app they use. It's called the Built app, B-I-L-T, and it references it in the directions. You put the name of your product in this case it was the Granada Grill Gazebo for us, and it has amazing 3D instructions step by step. You can visualize every step, you can zoom in, you can pinch and zoom in, and you can rotate around. It really comes in handy because there's a couple parts where you're like, am I on this side of the board or that? Is the bolt on this side and the screw on this side and things like that. You can find all of that easily with these instructions. Really a game changer, and I encourage you to check these out instead of just going with the paper instructions. So this video would be boring if I showed you every single step. That's what the Built app is for in the instructions, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks we learned along the way and some major steps. The first part of any project is usually starting with the posts of the gazebo, the corners, and that's what we're doing here, affixing this pad to the bottom of each post. Many of the pieces of this kit use these T-nuts, and you want to secure these in with a hammer or even a mallet. Works pretty well. And if you don't get them in all the way, it's not that big of a deal because when you put the screw or bolt through from the other side, it'll pull it through nice and tight. The kit comes with a little hand Allen wrench that you can see I'm using here to tighten things down. But it also comes with a bit that you can put in your drill or impact driver, and that's really the way to go, and I start doing that a little bit later here. I should have done it from the beginning. Just want to be sure not to over tighten. Most drills have a torque setting on it so you can test it out and set it so you don't over tighten things. So these first couple steps here, we're adding the corbels, which add some really good structural integrity to the whole building so it doesn't sway in the wind. And the first couple steps are putting the 4 posts and just the basic foundation in, and you really feel like you get some progress done after getting these first few steps done, which don't take too long. Another cool thing is they give you this little angle tool here for your drill, so you can drill sideways. It helps you get into the tight spots. Very thoughtful, makes it a lot easier. So it helps to have maybe 2 ladders for this. We were standing on some seats, but later we pulled out the ladder. Katie's here to help as well, and now we're getting the roofing up and the ridge board, and then the next step will be to build all of the roofing, which is really cool because you do that on the ground. It's nice and safe, and then later, as you'll see, we'll lift the panels up into place. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, there are lots of wood pieces. When you first open those boxes, it can be a little overwhelming. What did I get myself into? But it's really not that many pieces, and most of them are for the roofing. And the roofing actually goes together really easily. You build it all on the ground. My daughter Katie's here helping us with that. And there's really not much to it. You just follow the directions. We use the Built app. Every now and then I'd reference the paper instructions as well, but you screw all these boards together and then you add the roofing to the top. Comes together really quickly. One little issue or concern I had was putting this metal on and getting to the end and having a bit of a gap, and that actually did happen for me. There was a little bit of a gap on that last 2x4 after I put the last piece of metal down. However, later in the project there is some trim, and the trim covers that up, so it wasn't a problem at all. So you build the roof panels on the ground and then they slide into place, and I was able to do this with my wife and my 16-year-old daughter, just the three of us, and it went really smoothly. Had to finagle it a little bit, but that was just because we were off a bit, but then it slid right into place, and amazingly all of the bolt holes lined up perfectly, because the next step is to secure the roof down, of course, and there's some pre-drilled holes that the roof will get bolted through. But we had a couple ladders and we used our golf cart here and it went up perfectly. After securing the roof into place, the next steps are pretty fun because you've got a really beautiful structure in place already, and you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now I'm adding this bracket on, and these brackets are impressive. Heavy, black, coated metal. All the hardware in this kit too is also very heavy. So I'm going to add one of these to both sides and move on from there. So the next couple steps I didn't all get on camera, but they were adding trim around each side of the roofing, and then you assemble this ridge cap, and it's a really cleverly engineered design. There's some boards you put under it to add some structure to it, and you screw those down, and then you're able to slide it up here. And today Jen and Katie were not around, and so I was able to do this all by myself. You don't have to climb up on the roof. You position it from one side, screw it down from underneath afterwards. So really cool design I was able to do all by myself. Now we're on the home stretch, and I gotta say this part of the project was really fun. Now we're assembling the rails that go along the side and the bar on each side, and you can configure this in a couple different ways. You could do like an L shape or parallel. I'm doing it parallel, and then the grill will be at the end in the middle. And I gotta say, I'm having a lot of fun putting this project together. It is a kit with instructions, but there is some craftsmanship and some thought that really has to go into it, and it really is a big achievement once you're starting to get to the end here and seeing how beautiful this thing is turning out. So with that, we've completed our build of our Granada Grill Gazebo from Backyard Discovery. See, our little chicken here likes it too. We got some metal bar stools to put out here, and we've already grilled out and had a great time. It's the perfect spot. The little bar tables are great because you can put food on it when people are eating, but also when you're preparing things as well. Overall, this was a very fun and rewarding project. I'm really proud of how this turned out. It looks just great, and it's going to be so nice this summer. We're going to have a graduation party and a birthday party planned already, and all the times I'm sure we'll use it grilling for many years to come. The cedar and the steel used, I'm sure, will last a lifetime. If you want more information on these gazebos from Backyard Discovery, we'll leave a link in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the video in the upper left-hand corner. That's from last year when we built our big Backyard Discovery gazebo that's just adjacent to this grill gazebo you see in the background.